Welcome back to pregame.tv. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined by Ken Thomson. We're going to take a look at Saturday action, San Diego at Miami. Ken, this Miami Marlins club, all of a sudden, they woke up, they've won a few games. I mean, they were the laughing stock of, baseball most of the season, and they still basically are. But when you got a team like that winning a few games, you got to take notice because they're always big dogs generally.
There you go. And when you talk about that and you see teams like Houston or Miami, and they're starting to play okay and get a little bit of chemistry, sure, we don't know those names. They're not household names, but all of a sudden you see them playing with a little bit of confidence. You take them in a 4-game series, you go 2-2, you're making good money because, like you said, you're a decisive dog all 4 games.
Absolutely. And we've got a couple pitchers going here, some young pitchers. Stoltz goes for San Diego, Turner for Miami. And I'll give you a little stat on the San Diego starter. In the last 2 seasons, he has faced National League East opponents. Now, I don't know which way you're going with this game yet, so I don't know if you're going to like this stat or not, but his team is 7-0 in his starts against the National League East. More impressively, the average runs scored by the opposition in those 7 games, just 2 runs.
Wow. That's good news. I mean, it doesn't change my play, but it may get me on another play.
Well, this is your free play. Tell me a little bit what you're looking at here.
Well, first off, I like Stoltz. And second of all, comes from a pitcher's park. Now, they did bring the fences in at Petco, and so, that's always been a pitcher's park. But Safeco and Petco, the fences come in, so there are some balls that are going out of there now. Miami, to me, I'm calling it the East Coast Petco without the fences being brought in. I mean, that ball just doesn't carry well there. And sometimes you see a ball hit to the gap or something, and you're looking, you're like, man, if that thing falls in there, these guys can run around the bases twice before they get to the ball. So it is, and I think it looks even bigger because there's nobody in there.
Well, Stoltz, throw one more stat at you before we give you the famous call here. But Stoltz, last 3 starts, he's got an ERA of 2.02, but more impressive than that, his whip, 0.85. You're
getting closer to my GPA now.
All right. Well, you know what? I don't have a comeback for that. So you know what? We better make it official, Ken.
And I really like that stat that Marco threw out there on Stoltz against the NL East, which is great. And I've liked him a lot. He's a guy that I really like to ride as far as when they're playing at Petco. He does his best work there. But he pitches well on the roads, too, on the road as well. So what I'm looking at is the under. Now, Jacob Turner's a guy, he's given up 7 runs in his last 32 innings as a starter here for the Miami Marlins. He's going to be a name that you are going to know as far as that Miami Marlins pitching staff. Why? Because Nolasco is probably going to be gone before the trade deadline. Miami's going to get rid of anybody that's high priced that they feel they can get something as far as the future. And then, of course, when that future comes around and they start winning again, then they'll get rid of all those guys. It's a never-ending cycle, it seems, with the Florida/Miami Marlins. But when you have Turner, you have Stoltz. Like Marco says, sometimes you look at things, don't make them harder than they are. 7.5 total. I see this game 2-1, 3-1 maybe. San Diego, they're playing good ball. They're scoring some runs, but they're not going to overpower anybody, especially in that ballpark. Still have guys on the DL. They're a nice team as far as chemistry, and they've gotten back to 500 in that NL West with it being so bunched up, and now the Dodgers playing good ball. Hey, who knows who's going to win that NL West? But I do know you'll get good effort night in, night out from San Diego. Bud Black, an outstanding manager. And like Marco said, Miami playing solid, so they're not just mailing it in. I like the under in this game, under 7.5. I think this game, again, 4 or 5 runs tops. And so on pregame.tv, my play, take the under, San Diego at Miami.
Good stuff, Ken. I'll throw one more stat at you. You're going to like this one. Miami's 8-16 versus lefties this year. In those 24 games, they only averaged 2.3 runs per game. So everything's falling in your place on this one. So good stuff from Ken. We're going to be right back with another pick from Ken. It's going to be the Ken Show here. He's got Detroit at Tampa Bay, Sunday afternoon action. We're going to look at that one next on pregame.tv.